Hello, my astrology friends. This is Lada from astrolada.com, and this is our Astrology Marathon 2026, where some of the top astrologers from around the world we get together and we deliver to you our insights for the coming year. And today, my guest is astrologer, palm reader, face reader, holistic healer, Krisztina Simon. Hello, Krisztina.
Hi everyone, thank you so much, Lada, to having me again on the marathon. I'm excited to be here. However, my topic again a little bit heavy because I have Saturn Neptune conjunction in Aries. I was talking about that in 2024 when you introduced me to the crowd the very beginning. I was really in details, but right now today we're going to talk about in details, the conjunction, the historical parallel, how do we actually analyze the cycles as above, so below. So I'm going to mention everything about the positive and the negative effect. Obviously, the historical parallel is very important, guys, because of then we see how the synodic cycle, usually plays out and what was previously when they met up in Aries or previously when they meeting up in any other sign, because it is two outer. Actually, Saturn is a social planet. He is the boundary between the inner planet, the personal, and the outer planet. He is like a fence right between, but they meet up every 36 years. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
And before you start, I just want to say that Krisztina has offered just for our viewers here at Astrolada 20% off discount on her three courses that she has. I'll put the link below. And 20% discount on her financial report for 2026. It's for each of the 12 signs, the financial report, or is that how it was? Or is it
No,
something else?
actually, yes, it's for all individual rising sign. The first 70 page, because I've written like 150 pages,
Per
and
sign?
yes,
Oh my God.
yes,
Okay.
I know. I have to stop that. I don't know. I mean, because of my accent, usually I get bullied for, and
No.
that's why I rather, but that's okay because and eventually I speak multiple languages, so the win is over here. But the point is, I rather sometimes to not to talk, but start to write. And sometimes I'm researching and going out, and oh my God, I'm up to 120 pages. Are you crazy, woman? But
You
yes,
write
so
like
that's what,
12 books every year. And you
yes,
have the financial ones, and you have also the
yes,
non-financial ones for the 12 signs.
the general one, and the
The
general
general.
one actually also talk about medical perspective, health, and education as well. So I try to bring in all kind of examples for you, of every single area of your life. And I do have the videos also available, which is like, between 3 to 4 hours. I
For
went a
each
little bit,
sign. I'll put the link
yes,
below for either Christina's general horoscopes for the 12 signs that she creates. She starts from the beginning of the previous year, or her financial horoscopes for each of the 12 rising signs, which will be 20% off, or also her courses, which are 20% off. For personal reading with Christina, facial reading, astrology reading, medical astrology, palm reading. She's an encyclopedia, incredible renaissance person. And you're also you're a medical nurse, psychiatric nurse,
yes.
so you have experience in the medical field. But now let's go to Saturn Neptune.
Already. So let's talk about the heavy subject over here. But guys, the Neptune and Saturn conjunction historically always give us something to do with socialism or democratic welfare, like
Mm.
because this conjunction representing like we want to actually taking care of the ones who are, pushed edge of the society.
Yeah.
And just give me a little spill. Let me have a little spill over here, guys. Just because I'm talking about synodic cycles or, talking about examples, I'm not a socialist. I don't want America to fail. Actually, I want that to prosper and strengthen because I love America. I live over here. I'm also an evolutionary astrologer. So, what does it mean? Mind over matter. I truly believe we can actually transform two-thirds or karma with awareness and or choices, okay? And astrology is not fatal, not fatalistic, it's instructive, right? So we have the potentials and we can take on to potentials. Or if I say there is challenge in the chart, then you're capable actually to face the enemy and win. That is it. The prediction is actually to get a winner in life. So it is just like Buddhism. You go through your human revolution to win, to make your life better, your karma better, and everything around you. So I'm also certified financial practitioner, so I don't say cuckoo things for you, like who doesn't know anything. I'm studying every week. I take one ESAR course. I'm going to, because I really like Davidson historical parallels. And for you guys who say, I don't know history, go to get Changing of Gods because of actually that is talking about the synodic cycle, what we're gonna talk about today, all right, and the historical parallel. That is nine documentary, astrology documentary. It is very heavy, it's very long, it's sometimes boring because, it's history and wars
There is an
and politics.
astrological documentary about changing of the guards, like the synodic cycle.
Changing of gods, Lada. Yes,
No, I
what
never
is that?
seen it.
That is, uh, I have seen it. Right now, I've seen it more times, but I have seen it the very beginning when they came out with that. That is 90 minutes, 9 times 90 minutes or 60 minutes. I don't know exactly, but every single synodic cycle, Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter with Saturn, Jupiter with Pluto, all the big wars, the Spanish flu, the World War One, anything to do when the Ottoman Empire fell or the Roman Empire. So they go through history. It's mind blowing. All right, guys. So I'm not talking propaganda, anything like that. I watch, I study, I research, I
Mm.
sweat blood to bring information for you. The other thing that we were talking about, Lada, just before we started, guys, as above, so below, obviously every single planet has negative and positive aspect. In on personal life, let's try to focus on positive and overcome the challenges. And also I want to tell you guys, on personal level, many times those kind of aspect is smoothed out somehow. Because, for example, I don't see your personal chart, obviously, but Saturn Neptune conjunction could be a little bit brutal. But
Mm.
if it is going to trine with your Pluto, or it's going to trine with your Jupiter or with your Sun, it's going to soften the energy. Actually, it will bring something amazing for you, right? Because it will manifest on the positive way. By the way, I'm going to talk about each individual signs as well. And, then I'm going to give you negative and positive, how can you overcome? So, yes, so I don't do propaganda and it could turn out actually better for you. If you are, if you have a trine or if you have a sextile or it is conjuncting with your personal planet like Jupiter over there. All right, what else we going to talk about? A little bit of historical parallel over here and a little bit about the synodic cycle. So, it's going to conjunct actually in 0 degree Aries, and that is a pure potential. This is the world axis of the cardinal signs. It is a new chapter for humanity, right? It is a synodic cycle. It starts something, it's seizing something for the collective. And Saturn, for example, going to be in Aries until April 2028, but Neptune going to stay here for a longer time until 2039. And before we're going to analyze everything, you also should actually check out, what is the dignity of the planets. For example, Saturn doesn't like to be in Aries because Saturn is exalted in Libra and
Mhm.
actually in fall in Aries. And what's happening when an outer planet or something which is because Saturn also courage and responsibility and honor, but Saturn is fear as well, and Saturn death in traditional and Vedic astrology. So it could bring in, a lot of fear and death. And when a planet like that is in fall, they are frustrated.
Mm.
It is just like somebody is who was in power for a long time and ready to lose the power. They try to hang on and do every nasty things. So Saturn wants to do all crazy things right now,
Mm.
right? Because of it's gonna be in fall. So so yes, that's what's happening. And then, for example, Saturn takes 29 years to go around the zodiacal cycle. Neptune is 165, but they meet up in a different sign every 63 years, okay? So that's when they meet. And that's how we're going to, but the 0 degree is something amazing for the collective, right? It is not necessarily amazing, but definitely huge and extraordinary shift. Because 0 degrees Aries, because the zodiacal cycle
Sorry.
starts with Aries, it is the public stage, something to do with a fresh start, something to do with collective visibility over here. So then, it's going to go between 0 to 2 degrees, the conjunction back and forth, right? And it's already started in 2023 because 2023 Saturn went actually to Pisces, and then end of 2023 and 24 get very close to in Pisces to Neptune. So we had a conjunction in Pisces, and then we had a conjunction, very, very close conjunction by degree in Aries this year, actually, when they met
Yeah.
in May. And by the way, you
July.
remember
July they were the car.
July,
Yeah.
yes. And you remember, right, what's happened, with the tariff? They were already close in Pisces before, so
Yeah. They were all
obviously,
the time, the first 6 months they were together pretty much of the year.
yes. And in Pisces, Pisces representing inflation, right? It is representing, Saturn is tax. Obviously, tariff is a secondary tax, right? What is the consumer going to swallow? So what's happened? We had a market manipulation over there because of the tariffs by US, and the whole entire world get crazy. So when it's going to do it again, obviously that's what's gonna happen.
There's more goes
So
towards poverty
yes, well, that's why we're going to
or
have a lot of,
financial crash or what?
it's not going to be a crash until Pluto Saturn doesn't square. It's
Which
going
is
to be
2028, 2029.
2028 beginning and 2027 November, we're already going to see them to square. It's not going to be exact yet, but
Uh-huh.
2028 it is. This is, I call it a huge market manipulation again, because they're going to try to push out even from crypto. I just gonna talk a tiny little bit about crypto as well, what's happening right now. They're trying to push out the average people to make them fearful, and if you push them out, they are capable to mine more Bitcoin. So that could be one reason. Obviously, not necessary. And also, I wanted to engage you guys. If you have any kind of constructive criticism, or you saw, for example, an asteroid, or I do a lot of Arabic lots also, when I'm analyzing, and you can bring on something. Oh, Christy, did you see that? Or Lada, did you see that? Can it means this? And let's have conversation and let's actually make each other lives better and have more knowledge. So that's what I want. I want to interact. Obviously, I cannot see everything. And then, yes, so that is a market manipulation, a major, and it could actually last more than 6 weeks. And right now, the crypto, because we have Uranus back in Taurus, and
Taurus.
that is the last kick. Yes. And it's for 84 years in our lifetime. That's the last kick over here for Uranus. And Uranus is in fall in Taurus and in retrograde. So
And
both
Uranus
of
is
them,
digital currency,
yes,
retrograde and fall in
yes,
Taurus. But
yeah.
digital currencies have really grown over the last 8 years since Uranus has been in Taurus.
Yes, but it started to develop, but you can see what kind of aspect did it make with Pluto, or what kind of aspect did it make with Jupiter. For example, it conjuncted with Jupiter. So it
Ah,
started that 14 years synodic cycle with amazing, actually, crypto growth slowly.
Yeah.
Slowly, slowly, steadily. Yes, the Jupiter Uranus is always starts that. And with Uranus, we had the Venus and Mars. So yes, it started to grow it. But right now, at this moment,
Yeah.
we have it in retrograde, we have it in. And by the way, we also have it by Vedic astrology, the early sign of Taurus. So
Taurus.
yes, when the Vedic and the Western aligns in one sign, because they only have 23 degrees, we are talking about this with Krasi all the time with on my channel, and that's when it's very potential, guys. So, for example, when Uranus is gonna go to Gemini, it's already going to lose from its fall, right? By Vedic, it's still there, but by Western, it's already moved. So it's not going to be terrible anymore. It's going to start to gain momentum again, crypto. But when it's going to be extremely high in 6 years, when both of them gonna be in Gemini,
In Gemini.
okay?
Yeah.
Right now, both of them in Taurus
Yeah.
for until end of until April, and right now it's in retrograde. So that's what's happening right now. Okay, I'm going back
So
actually.
hold people on. Don't sell off. They're trying to shake off the retail
Yes,
so institutions can get it cheaper and so on.
yeah. Well, I cannot say don't sell. I want to say get a financial certified, not practitioner, but advisor. Make sure you listen to your intuition. Make sure you are well financially and never, ever, ever, like gamble. So that's very
Yeah.
important because
Yeah.
everybody has different amount of money. I hold. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm
We
holding.
do the
I'm
same.
not panicking. I holding. I
I'm not a
bought
day
right now. No.
trader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not great. I going to hold it. I have it on cold wallet. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this craziness back and forth because that's when I lost money. All
Mhm.
right. So, but you do whatever you need to do, guys. Okay.
Yeah.
We just try to actually analyze the pattern
So
over
you
here.
say that when Jupiter turns direct in Taurus, it will start getting better in a couple of
Uranus. Yes.
your
Yes.
Uranus, and
Yes.
then when it moves to Gemini from end of April, it gets even better and better and better.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That's the end
But
of April
that's,
2026.
yeah. But you have to see the Chinese horoscope also, and you have to see the chart of the coins, the ICO. So that's why I analyze it all the time, because of,
Different.
some of them going to gain huge momentum, and some of them, for example, XLM and XRP, because of they have the Gemini stellium or second house Gemini. Obviously, they're going to uh,
Go up.
um, go up. Ethereum also going to do well, and Bitcoin will do well, but I told you guys before, Bitcoin, like because Pluto going on progress sun, and that's when hacking happening. And
Oh yes,
unfortunately, yeah,
I remember you warned people to be careful with Bitcoin for
yeah,
hackings and
yes,
yeah,
hacking, hacking, hacking. So
because
that's what
Pluto
it
is
is.
like a terrorist type of it.
Yes. Yeah. And especially on, that is the white collar genius hackers, I like Tulsa King, Brody and Tulsa King, who is taking Bitcoin from each account. That's, I
Mm.
mean, if you saw the series. So that's what's happening over here. Yes. And, that is a 36 years old rhythm. And, then we
The
saw
Pluto,
that.
the Saturn Neptune we're talking now again.
Yes, yes, I'm
Okay.
going back to Saturn Neptune because of I just
Yeah.
wanted to have a little detour, not to get scared with crypto
Yes.
don't fall right now because it will come back, right? All
Yes.
right. And I just wanted to bring in a little bit of historical parallel. Obviously, if you want to see more, guys, I can give you all the, research I have done. You can text me, not text me, but what is email or whatever, and I can give it to you. That's all right. But usually that is a political, the Sabian symbol and the word axis, that is a woman actually rising from the sea, and the seal is approaching the woman. So, what does it mean? Because I wanted to talk about that. The woman is a lot of female leaders. Actually, Venus emerged from the foam and from actually Uranus genitals, right? So, that's representing And it is so symbolic right now because of the sex trafficking. And, Uranus' penis was cut off, and, Venus was rising from that. So it is representing a female leadership on Earth. And a lot of female presidents going to take over.
Over the next 35 years during
Yes,
this
yes, yes.
Neptune-Saturn
36
cycle.
years. Yes.
36 years. Yeah.
But because it's on 0 degree right now, Lada, I have to say, 2026, for example, Europe has a lot of election, and we're going to see females coming up, and
Mm.
you guys also going to have a lot of protest. I'm gonna talk a little bit about that. But yes, so female is rising, the Sabian symbol, and
Yeah.
the seal is your instinct. And the seal actually, the Sabian symbol of the seal had something, it was a Celtic mythology when, the seal could actually transform because the woman is the soul in the Sabian symbol. The sea is the collective, unconscious, and the seal is the body which is transforming and the instinct together. So yes, there was a mythology, a Celtic myth, when it's like, the seal became a human. So it's also representing some kind of incarnation, shape shifting, and something to do with transition between the worlds. But because it's Neptune and Saturn conjuncting, it is a lot of people going to be more spiritual and not necessarily religious, because Saturn Neptune conjunction many times creating religious war. It's creating, oh my God, assassinations.
Oh.
So, and you know what? So, because right now I started to do investigative astrology. Nobody does that. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do that because somehow it could interest people. So, what did I do? I saw a clip with Lincoln and Kennedy, who, everything was so symbolically exactly the same with Kennedy and Lincoln, the assassination, when they going to went for presidency, when they were born, 100 years apart, how they've been killed and everything. And guess what? I went to the chart, Neptune Saturn conjunction for both of them.
Oh, they were born with Saturn Neptune conjunction.
Yes, and both of them get assassinated. And I was like, all right,
Was Charlie
okay.
Kirk born with Saturn Neptune conjunction? I
No,
think he's
no, but
no.
no, Charlie Kirk actually had, because I'm doing Arabic lots as well. Charlie Kirk assassination lot is on his son in the 10th house, so publicly
Oh,
assassinated and squared, actually, I'm sorry to say that, but
Mars.
squared with asteroid Israel.
Oh, oh,
So,
so Israel is involved. That's what everyone knows. It's
okay,
happening. The
so
secret services. I mean, not the
yeah.
Israeli people. They are
Not
secret.
the people. If we don't talk
Because
about
he
Jewish
started
people.
going against the narrative
Yes,
there, and
yes.
yeah.
So I checked it, I did the reading and everything. So he had totally different, but yes. And sometimes when Saturn in Aries, guys, that's what's happening. Also, a lot of killing of presidents or public figures.
Because
They have,
Aries is leaders. Aries is leaders.
yes.
Saturn is death. Huh?
Yes. And
Neptune.
there is also shooting, so assassination, that's what is happening many, many times. Also, the gun laws, when Saturn was in Aries, everywhere around the world, there was new gun laws. There was like, okay, do background check. In UK, in Australia, everywhere they actually presented a new gun law. So we can accept right now in the US, we're going to have some kind of new gun law
Regulations, yeah.
regulation, something to do with regulation. If you have guns, I'm not against your guns. I'm talking about pattern again over here. So, I'm not a socialist. I'm not against your guns. I'm against massive shooting. I'm against assassination or when we don't value each other's life, but just for the throws over here. But then let's go and move forward over. So yes, that's what's happening. And last time when we met, very first time in 2024, I told you around April, May, we're going to lose the Pope because of we're going to have Saturn, Neptune very close in Pisces. That's what's happened, right? And then again, right now it's Aries. And whenever we had in Aries, we also had issue with Popism and Christianity and the faith in churches. So right now we're going to see a major transformation also again, or perhaps we're going to lose the Pope again. Something around the Popism is going to change, and it's not necessarily going to be positive, right? Because of those two planets. Saturn is drought, Neptune is flood. Aries is rising the temperature. Again, what's going to happen? Melting ice, Saturn also ice as well.
Yeah.
The sea level is coming up. What's happening when sea level is coming up? Hurricanes, typhoons. Look at what's happened
Floods.
with the Philippines. Yeah.
Yeah.
So typhoons, and I also mentioned that the Philippines in my 2024 video, I know they got two major typhoons. My brother was there with her fiance, went home the fiance, and I was like, oh my God, I couldn't reach them. So that was, terrible. But yes, that's what's happening right now. Typhoons, some places gonna have a lot of drought, some places areas. Saturn is the wood, lumber, Aries is the fire, wood on fire. Drought the other place, flood on the coastlines all over, typhoons. So that is going to bring in a huge change. And you know why we cannot never go back? Because Saturn Neptune together is the spiritual warrior, guys. So the very good things we were born to this stage, it's heavy. It's heavy because Pluto went to Aquarius, it's very heavy. But guys, we were born for a reason to rise from this situation, to help each other. So you know who is actually born out from that? The spiritual leader, the people who don't actually have capes, but they still superheroes. You are your own superheroes because you cannot wait for anybody's rescue right now. And you're going to be your own and go for your own rescue. Okay. So it's manifest actually beautifully because we are like, okay, we need compassion. We need to have the underprivileged somehow, and also, guys, if we have the underprivileged, it's okay, it's good, it's amazing. Why? Because there is no crime then. I truly believe everybody deserves food, hospital, education and shelter. That should be human rights.
Mm.
And capitalism could come from that because if you want to achieve more and you have ambition, go for it. And then we can all strive, whoever want to. But make sure the bottom is good because that's only we can have a golden age
Mm.
again.
Yeah.
And what Jesus Christ wants, what Buddha wants, obviously they never punished anyone, they never killed anyone, of in name of God or name of whatever they believed in. So that's happening. But during Saturn and Neptune, usually something to do with popism, usually something to do with uh, changes like and we had the Saturn Neptune conjunction in the 1800s. We had the US Civil War. And guys, right now we also going to have Uranus return and Uranus Mars conjunction on America's Uranus return
Oh.
on the 250th birthday of America.
Next 4th of July,
Yes,
250th,
yes,
2026, exactly.
yes,
Mars
yes,
conjunct Uranus on America's Uranus in the
yes,
seventh house
yes. Open
of
enemies.
open enemies and conflict.
Yes.
Mm.
And then, what does it mean? Civil war. Uranus in Gemini, usually it is because of Gemini is the young people. And whenever we also had Saturn in Aries, guys, always the young Turk, for example, rebelled in Turkey. So always bringing in the new generation. Right now, Generation Z is totally fed up with the bloomers and with the bullshit. What the older generation created, and they want to have something new.
It's kind of a
And
revolution is gonna happen.
yes,
Yeah.
it is a revolution all over the world. So I did a video with Victor. I
Young,
didn't.
young versus old.
Yes, But on the other hand, we are capable to rise from it. So I'm very happy because Neptune is present. Neptune is filmmaking. Neptune is photography. Neptune is art, the higher octave of love. It's forgiveness, guys. Saturn is going to, like you need boundaries. Stop your addiction. Why are you numbing yourself? It could actually kick you in the butt and say, hey, what are you doing? Shake you. Come on, dude or woman, what are you doing? You need to raise your children. So it is a reality check. And, I love Saturn. I mean, I'm not Saturn, I'm very Jupiterian person, but, Saturn sometimes brings me more, especially right now, Saturn trying Saturn for me, brings me more than even Jupiter returns sometimes.
For
And I
me,
am like, wow.
especially as a Saturn ruled person, for me, it's only Saturn brings the good stuff. Jupiter gives me a bit of good time, but the real results and rewards from hard work are from Saturn. The really big
Yeah,
things for me.
honor and recognition,
Yeah.
definitely. And if you didn't skip that step, because Saturn not going to allow you to skip steps.
No.
So
Yeah.
yeah, you have to go
Only
gradually.
lawfully, awfully, if you've done your work,
Yes,
then Saturn is the biggest rewarder for me. If I haven't done the work, it's
yes,
the
kick you.
biggest
It's
slaps.
chopping. Yeah, but also, because Neptune is also lying, and like 12 holes, hidden accounts overseas. So we're going to see a lot of leaders who have hidden accounts. Epstein file, obviously, right? It's also, sextiling with Pluto. Obviously, it's leaking, it's coming out. Right now, it's cleaned up. Obviously, it's the oligarchy guy. It's not going to all name, going to be there. But hopefully, somebody going to hack it and just release
To
it as
leak
it
it,
is.
yeah, yeah, because it involves pretty much all world leaders and
Yeah,
secret
yeah,
services of all big countries. It's
yes.
he
All
wasn't
big
like a
countries.
weird kind of a pervert on his own. That was
No, no, no. Oh, no. Absolutely not. That he knew. There, he just used his, I don't know, charming, I can say, for or maybe just, I don't even know because I looked at his face all the time and I could vomit, but probably someone else has like, okay, that's a charming man. Ugh. But yeah, that's what's happening. So definitely new cycle and new readership over here. Um, but and yes, so Neptune is higher octave of love, and the positive, actually, Neptunian energy is spiritual awakening and creativity. You're going to see a lot of creative people, right? And spiritual enlightenment and creative geniuses, new art, new healing technique. And we're going to slowly move toward to holistic healing and humanitarian works. That's gonna be very, very important. And obviously, the negative one is destruction. It is something to do like you dissolve your identity. It is like you codependent on others, or codependent on toxic relationship, martyrhood, because Neptune is also the martyr as well, and easily influenced as well, and easily manipulated. But it could also bring in psychological disturbance as well. And it's always Neptune in Aries is always religious and spiritual movement. My God is better than yours. I
Mhm.
can kill you in my name of God. So
Yeah.
that kind of
That will
situation.
intensify. But we're already
Yes,
seeing it like the Muslim Christians. It's getting really, really in the
yeah.
Western countries.
In the Western countries, and there is the Middle East, and like genocide in Gaza,
Oh
so
yeah,
that is
true.
terrible. And Syria, and actually I want to bring up some, not bring up anything, but I checked a lot of countries, guys, and also in Los Angeles, because Los Angeles has 3 degrees Aries moon. But I going to mention a few chart what I checked for you, and who going to have a lot of disturbance over there. But yes, we had the Spanish war in the when we had actually Neptune in Aries, and then obviously religious divisions and the American Civil War. Also, we had the human rights the voting rights by Lincoln as well in 1865. So, it's going to bring in some kind of amazing opportunity also with voting rights or human rights. The Red Cross was obviously created back then as well. So yes, and also the moving pictures, the cinematic cinematography also became amazing. But right now, definitely we can have war on big pharma and any kind of medical industries. I don't know if you remember, Lada, when I did the 2024, and I also said yes, 2025 Pope going to die. I also said that it's gonna be the war on drug cartel. What's happening right
Yeah.
now? The recent
Because of the Saturn Neptune first conjunction
yes,
in
yes, that
Aries. Yeah,
yes,
because
that's what I
Aries,
said.
Aries
Hmm.
war, Neptune is drug cartels, Saturn is
Yes,
trying to stop them. Wow. So it continues. That's
yes,
great,
it
actually. That's very
continues.
good.
Well, if it is for this real reason, because Neptune also representing oil, and
Ah, okay.
Saturn Mars is invading a country without, false flag operation, and it could bring in a lot of false flag operation as well. They're going to blame a different shooter, a different country for the things what's happening. So it could bring that in as well. But yes, I just
Wasn't
wanted to.
slavery abolished also with Neptune in Aries?
You know what? Yes, it was Neptune in Aries, and it was in the 1800, 1863, 65. That's what when Lincoln also was killed. I
Still.
told you, he has Neptune Saturn conjunction also. And yes, it's always somehow. But right now, I fear because we have sextile with Pluto in Aquarius, and we also going to have sextile with Uranus in Gemini. I think it's the digital slavery. We're gonna have a backlash. We don't want to have digital ID. I don't want to have Palantir to surveillance. Unfortunately, the moment you sign Facebook, the rights, they can use your data, you became a digital slave already. So you always sign, if you sign up any kind of new, social media account, they take your data.
It's
That's what's
already,
happening.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
already a
but
digital ID.
anyway, I'm sorry.
It is already a digital ID. It's whether
Yes.
you agree or no, it's you're doing it.
Yeah, but we're gonna have a backlash because you want to be your own superhero. And it's going to, Neptune is martyrhood, and Saturn is like, hey, 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 no, 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 you take actions. You are not a co-pilot, you are the pilot of your airplane. And you take action, so you rise against it. So it could bring in something like that. Absolutely. All right. And then the gun laws, what's going to happen also. So that is very obvious. And do you remember when I said also we're going to have news about sharks and cocaine, and then 4 months later, one of your viewers wrote me an email and said, "Oh my God, I just watched the video with Lada and you were talking about sharks because Saturn is sharks, Neptune is cocaine and ocean, and they actually found the sharks ate the cocaine and became more aggressive." And I was like, yeah, that could happen. Obviously, it was wild from me to say that, but yes, and that's what's happened. So we're going to have the carter, and Saturn is minimalizing on your on life, and Neptune is actually something to do with housing of the homeless, of the veterans. So we might going to have tiny mini houses for veterans, and like homelesses, and that actually shelter them. So it could go very well like that, the positive manifestation, but the negative one, it's more war, guys. It's rising of the all the revolution, it's rebellion, it's social unrest all over, definitely. And Neptune is virus, Saturn is seas. There is, if it's not another pandemic, even if it's gonna have another pandemic, they're not going to be able to control us as they controlled us with COVID. That's for sure.
Because Pluto's
This
not
is,
involved.
yeah, Pluto is not involved. Pluto is involved,
Oh, yeah,
but
but with
actually in a
sextile.
positive way with sextile. So the power belongs from humanity. So we are not gonna get controlled. And also that's why it's leaking all the information about, people. That's why they're going to be removed. I truly believe also the French president gonna be removed, but I'm gonna do another video and I'm gonna explain his chart. So that's what is happening right now. So Pluto is involved in a good way, and that's why it's going to turn out to be positive. But what does it mean? Neptune is virus, Saturn is cyst, Saturn is joint pain, Neptune and Aries, anything to do with the head. So Medco disease, meningitis, unfortunately, and eye. And then I was reading, when I was doing this prediction, I was reading, they tried to do some kind of infection, like a pink eye kind of infection. I didn't hear about that, but also somebody brought me tips. And did you see that, Krisztina? I was like, oh my, so that's what I was talking about. Yes, something to do with pink eye and pandemic about eyes. And make
Oh, blood.
sure,
Oh, hemorrhaging as well, because Aries
yes,
is blood,
yes.
sinuses, face. Yeah, yeah, all of those.
And
Uh,
also something to do with rash. And Neptune is some kind of medicine, maybe SSRI because it's mental illness, or maybe because of Venus is exalted in Pisces, and Venus is the little sister of Neptune. It could be Ozempic, or it could be the weight loss medicine, which going to have side effect with rash, or it's going to create vision issue and blindness. So careful,
that
guys, with
blindness,
that.
Aries, exactly.
Yeah.
That's
They want to blind us. They don't want us to see. So the vision has to be blurry by Neptune, because if you don't see it, you don't have, a new perspective. So they want to blind us right now. That's what's happening.
so
Yes,
literally and figuratively, both ways, kind of.
absolutely. Both ways. Yes. Yes, so during the years when Saturn Neptune was, for example, in Libra, we had Putin born, and also we had the death of Stalin as well. Churchill actually demand end of the Cold War, obviously. We had the Hiroshima bomb also, right? So right
With
now,
Saturn and Neptune.
yes,
Okay.
Saturn Neptune.
Okay.
Yes, it was in an opposite sign. It was in Libra.
Oh, Saturn Neptune conjunction in Libra.
Yes. And
Oh,
when it was in Leo, we had the Russian Revolution, right? The Russian Empire collapsed. We were in 1917 and 1919. We were, like in the World War One.
first, yeah.
Yeah. And what else? We had the Spanish flu.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying there is something coming. I always told you guys February could be very intense flu, COVID, some kind of season. Get ready. Neptune is immune system and lymphatic system.
Mm.
Areas is something to do with inflammation.
Mm.
Make sure you are not inflamed. Make sure you have anti-inflammatory diet. You can take ginger, turmeric, green peppercorn, and cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper can actually increase your blood pressure. So be careful. Always talk to your doctors when I'm saying something here. But those are anti-inflammatory herbs, and those are going to have drink mint tea all the time. If you have pneumonia, not marshmallow, mullein tincture going to help you with respiratory issues. Make sure you already have it. Fire cider, it's very Neptune in Aries herbs. You make your fire cider, go Google it.
You're a
Yes,
bit drunk
yes,
and a bit healing and
yes, I love it. Yeah, because I want to help people, because I know what's gonna happen in February. The flu
I
going
know.
to be, yes, intense. Yes,
They,
but
they got
sorry.
together in the same sign now in Neptune and in
Yeah,
Pisces again within 2-3 degrees. I've been having the pneumonia for a month and a half with
yeah.
bronchitis and whatever. I don't want to repeat. I don't want to repeat.
Well, I think, yeah, check your personal planet if it's sextiling or, trining, you won't repeat.
No,
But
the
yeah.
conjunctions making oppositions for me.
Oh,
The ruler
yes.
of the ascendant to Jupiter. I think I started already the
Okay.
detox and the anyway,
Yeah,
sorry.
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely detox over there, but you will be better. I know that.
Mm.
And when it was in Taurus, Taurus is actually the axis of the financial axis in 1882, Saturn Neptune. Then we have the standard oil monopoly and the global gold standard as well. By the way, it's happening because of the market manipulation with Saturn, Neptune, the gold going to be very strong. Guys, silver also, silver going to follow through for 7 more years, but gold going to be very, very strong.
Nice.
And also we're gonna have the solar eclipse in Leo and we're gonna have Jupiter in Leo. So make
Oh
sure
boy, yeah.
you are well settled with gold because it's gonna help you. So that's what was the gold standard also. So you have to see the planetary aspect over here. And as I said, Neptune is always something to do with communism or socialism, something to
Mm-hmm.
do with that. And Marx actually wrote his book about the communism, right? When Saturn Neptune was in Aquarius. And Aquarius, it's the humanity, it's the people, right?
Marx
So
also was born with Saturn Neptune conjunction.
really, so
Yeah,
he
I
was
think.
the third
Oh,
one.
was it Saturn Pluto? I think it was Saturn Neptune. Saturn Neptune.
Okay. Wow. All right. So that's really that's when he wrote his book about the community. That is manifesto or
He
something
must
like
have been
that.
35 or something when he was writing it, the
Yeah.
Communist Manifest. But it is about socialism, and there is some beautiful ideas there that the weak should be helped, that wealth should be distributed evenly. But first, they removed God from the equation. That's a big
Yes.
problem. That's why. And I don't think we're also at this level where we can make it work still. There's too much greed.
Too
But
much greed. Yeah. And I not necessarily I would think wealth should be equally, but I would think everybody deserves shelter and
yeah,
education and
exactly.
hospitalization.
Education, being treated humanely and being shown
Yes.
compassion. That's
And this, as I said, if you have ambition and if you are ready to strive, go ahead. Take your gift. Do and
it.
attribute something to the greater good, and you're going to be then yeah, it's gonna be amazing then.
I
Yeah,
think
so
that
that
a lot of social, like social services, social help also was always introduced with Saturn Neptune, like pensions for the elderly and for mothers with children and so on. So this is like the social services is Saturn Neptune. So there'll be some change there, reconstruction of that. Maybe people are talking about universal basic income. I don't think it's coming next year, but I think over the cycle of 35 years, something like that can appear as well.
I believe by the time when we're going to have Saturn Neptune by sextile,
Uh-huh.
then it could be something to do with maternity leaves. Also right now Jupiter still exalted in the first part of 2025, so it could actually increase and have the single mothers, and it's always Saturn Neptune together could be yes, actually single fathers, single mothers, some who protect them. So those are always laws for those kind of social warfare. I
Social
mean,
welfare, exactly. So that's, yeah, there'll be politicians running on that as well a lot and a lot of
yeah,
new changes around that. But like in America, it's crazy. You have 3 weeks paid maternity. In my country, it's 2 years. 3. You can go to 3 years. You
yeah,
just take a little bit less money than the full salary. And many
yeah,
women just go work somewhere for 3 months, then they give birth
yeah.
and they watch the kid 3 months. But in Hungary, I heard you don't pay taxes if you have 3 or 4 kids as well.
Yes, I
Aren't
know
you?
they don't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
for kids.
this is great for if they want to help families, this kind of social fare. If you have 2, 3 kids, you don't pay taxes, so you're stimulated to work, but at the same time you have a bigger families. And that such things are coming, I think, very.
It will, and I like to call it democratic warfare, so then nobody is shooting you and me like the messengers, because when you're gonna say social, then they're
Yeah.
going to troll us, like crazy, but definitely. And something to do because of Saturn is the real, it is submarines, it is the steel itself, right? And that is actually in Aries, that is the iron spine. And we also had the Berlin Wall, demolished when Saturn was in Aries. So there is going to be definitely different borders coming in, right? So, for example, we had the 6 Days War also in Middle East, Israel attacked Syria and everyone around, and the borders had changed. So right now, again, and let me tell you a few countries over here. So for example, we're going to have Syria sun is actually in 2 degrees Libra in the fourth house. A fourth house is anything to do with the land, right? So actually, it's going to be Saturn Neptune across. So Syria going to go under a major change, and it could be destruction. United Kingdom, Uranus actually in 1 degree Libra. United Kingdom can have some kind of terror attack or explosion actually with this
Oh.
situation. Because it's Uranus involved. Then Palestine,
Explosion.
unfortunately, yes,
Explosions, Uranus. The Uranus of
explosion.
UK, of United Kingdom.
Yeah,
You say UK?
yes, United Kingdom.
Yeah, okay.
Then Iceland has the Neptune and ascendant to 2 degrees Libra, so there could be some kind of hurricane or some kind of, yeah, underwater activity.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Natural stuff,
The
disaster.
glaciers could
Uh-huh.
be from Iceland. We're going to have a news like it's melting and it's devastating. Then New Zealand has the sun in Libra, so it's opposition. So the politician, when the sun is over there, then the politician can die, or something to have with the government is changing, major change. Los Angeles moon is in 3 degree Libra. So
Oh.
Los Angeles over there, it's going to be probably an exodus out from California, or Los Angeles is gonna have a lot of earthquake. Uh, then we have also Saudi Arabia has the 0 degree Libra sun, so the Saudi government also
Oh.
going to change. And
Yeah.
yeah, we always had some kind of
Chinese
Middle East
government, the
problem.
leaders, the kings, yeah.
Mhm. It could be like the prince is taking over because the king is dying. That's what I see.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yes. So, all right, guys, that's what's happening. We're gonna have new identity, right? We're going to, new culture or myth, anything to do with your identity reboots. And, it is some kind of phoenix point over here. We're not gonna, it's not a death, but it's a rebirth from ashes. So that's what you have to go with. It is, the warrior spirit. It is a spiritual warrior. A lot of people going to start to do Tai Chi, or some kind of, uh, spiritual practice, but with activity, because Mars wants to be active. Saturn is break, however. So I truly believe also those social influencers going to disappear, who just there for 15 minutes fame, and we're gonna have a lot more values in our society, especially with Uranus in Gemini and Pluto in Aquarius. So definitely it's going to awaken the. Oh, by the way, by this time, what can you expect from the US? Because as I said, we have the Uranus return on the 250th birthday. Definitely the global dominance going to weaken, right? And we're going to shift from the West, the Western society, to the East somehow. And also Europe going to have, even with a lot of social unrest, going to get more power, Europe, more than America eventually. It's 36 years, it's not gonna happen overnight, and it's not affecting all countries the same way. All right, let's go quickly right now to each individual signs, all right? And I'm going to try to talk about the negative and the positive over here, guys. Aries, let me have my little, because I don't want to lose where am I? Aries, obviously, it's going to happen in your first house, right? And the first house, anything to do with your leadership momentum. It is, your body. It is the way you represent yourself. It is your presence, is society. So you can take on to a new leadership position. You could be a CEO. Your identity is changing right now. You no more apologizing for existing, or if you have maybe an accent or whatever, you going to take on to some kind of authority over here, and you're going to be really disciplined, and perhaps you're going to start a new project. And as I said, it could be something to do with slow movement. Saturn could slow you down a little bit. As I said, capoeira, tai chi. Neptune is something, ballroom dancing, perhaps you can take on to. So it could be really, really positive. Definitely you're going to take more photography, or in nature, close to water. Or Saturn is peaks. It is anything to do with what is that?
Mountain.
Mountain. Yes. So you can have a lot of walking over there in mountain, in nature, or by the sea. It could be amazing for the soul. But the negative effect is you can have some kind of I'm chosen syndrome. I'm the best. Some kind of ego trip over here. And also you can burn out. As you said, you have an Aries sun, right?
I think this is very humbling. Both Saturn and Neptune can humble you, even you with the grass, even if you're too proud and
Mm. If you do have this ego syndrome, it's gonna break you.
yes,
That's the negative.
that's both
So
Saturn
yeah,
and Neptune are very humbling. They don't tolerate
mhm,
big egos.
yeah. Yeah, that's why but it could bring you, because Aries one have some kind of hyperdrive, and it could become burnout. You can have joint issues, teeth, anything to do with joint or bone issues. You might going to need an implant, for example, or might have to cope with a withdrawal of addiction. So that could also be something over here. All right, Taurus rising sun and moon is going to happen in your 12th house. Anything to do with all traumas. It could dissolve, right? Anything what was buried deeply, it might going to come to surface. You get a hypnotherapy. You go to some kind of ayahuasca, retreat or whatever, and you are capable to face the demon, your addiction. So definitely it's going to be a major spiritual awakening for you guys. Also, your dreams could be very vivid, and because Aries is either war, or it could be also very sexual. You can have a lot of dream, warlike or sexual dreams, but definitely you can also download and from the Akashic record and start to, for example, write script writing, write a movie or a book. Definitely could be that also. And it could be some kind of financial development from overseas. You might going to open an overseas account, hide some money over there. But if you had any kind of hidden talent, it could also emerge right now. If you are a medium, or you can actually channel something during this time, and letting go of all psychological trauma and baggage. But the negative one, is escapism and disappearing from life. You don't want to actually talk to anyone, or you will be manipulated easily by people. Saturn could be also someone who is more powerful. Maybe you are paying for fake gurus. Really be careful, Taurus rising sun and moon, not to actually hire fake people and fake gurus, because it could, take your money and drain your money, but also it could bring you some kind of isolation. But maybe you are okay with isolation. Gemini rising sun and moon, the positive one over here, because of you going to have that in your 11th house. And the 11th house is your, anything to do with your friendship and social media friends and your community. It's also money from your career. So you might going to get a bonus. You might going to have some kind of promotion, which is going to increase your finances, and also it could bring in some kind of new community which is aligning with you spiritually. And you might going to also take on to a leadership role as well in your community as well, or you might going to create a crowdfund, a software and application work together with people, with community, and you are going to be the amplifier of the community, right? Because you're having amazing ideas. You can also actually take into roles anything to do even with social involvement and protest. Maybe you are actually planning a protest and getting people together. But definitely it could also strengthen friendship, what is there to stay and really strong, but the weak ones going to dissolve right now for you. And also the negative one, because of Neptune over there and Saturn, it could actually sucking your energy, friendship, parasite friendship. I call parasite friendship is people who are always complaining. No matter how much do you help them, they just coming up with the same negative aspects. So careful and cut yourself out from those kind of groups. You don't need it because it's going to overwhelm you, right? But also you can have some kind of public backlash, especially if you are in the eye of the other people and they misunderstand you right now. Okay, then we're going to go Cancer rising, Sun and Moon. And guys, the positive one over here is going to happen in your 10th house, Cancers. So that is a huge career change. You're going to have a new public role and you can take on to that. It's going to be, overwhelming at one point and even scary a little bit, but you can gain respect with Saturn over here and wisdom, right? And Neptune going to soften also this energy. So you can become a very famous photographer, an artist. Maybe you're going to go red carpet essay or a video music award. You're gonna, like win. You can win something with music, singing, dancing, filmography, photography if you are an artist or if you are a director. So you can win right now. Recognition for your humanitarian healing or contribution or effort, like a Nobel Peace Prize. And you can become some kind of guidance for others as well. The negative, it could be like, all right, I'm done with this crap because of Neptune is going to actually like dissolve something in your career, and I don't want to be in politics anymore. I'm resigning. I have enough because there is some kind of public reputation fog, and and I just don't want to deal with that. But also sometimes Neptune over here could create some kind of unclear direction, something with fogginess, right? It could bring in some kind of authority conflict as well, and you are burnout also from the responsibility. It's overwhelming. Leo rising, Sun and Moon, it's going to happen in your ninth house. All right. So the positive part of Saturn Neptune over here, you can actually move abroad. You can have a visa, a green card, a citizenship. You can buy an island, some undeveloped land on an island, right? You can go teaching abroad. You can have a foreign exchange student. You can go to study in a foreign country to a university. Some kind of new philosophy can come into your life, which is helping to hold on when there is challenge in your life, right? So yes, it is definitely publishing could be really good if you are YouTubing. It could bring in broadcasting or YouTubing could bring in followers or how do you call that, subscribers for you. Yes, and definitely there could be a lot of bucket list trip in your life during this time. And then the negative is, falling out from spiritual practice. Like right now, I'm so busy, I'm overwhelmed, I cannot go to the church. I don't know, which practice should be the best for me because, or it could also bring in some kind of extremist ideology for you as well. Um, if you have anything to do with foreign matters, sometimes at the beginning, by Saturn is over here, it could actually complicate your visa situation or your citizenship. But when Saturn gonna move out, it's gonna give you a gift, and anyway, you're going to get it. All right. Then we're going to have Virgo rising sun and moon, right? And Virgo rising sun and moon, you're going to have that in your eighth house. And eighth house, anything to do with codependency, sex, anything to do with debt, with mortgage, with tax, everything with taboos over there. So it could bring in a deep psychological healing for you, and also addressing, your trauma with finances, the root issues. Why don't you believe you actually can make money? It's also going to liberate you from toxic relationships as well. It could bring in amazing financial breakthrough. You can actually pay off a mortgage, right? You can pay off your credit cards. You can get inheritance. Saturn is elderly people. Neptune is the veil. It's eternal womb to pass away and, like bring in some kind of inheritance for sure. And it could be also some kind of tantra because it is Neptune is spirituality, eighth house sexuality plus Aries over there, some kind of you are practice of tantra or something to do with your sexuality and spirituality, and you're going to integrate that, and you have that kind of deep intimate connection with your significant others. Also, it's helping you actually with shadow work. You might going to have a detective. You might, because if you have lost identity, the negative identity theft, or anything to do with helping you to pay off mortgage or debt, a financial practitioner, advisor you can hire. So yes, it could do that as well. And the negative, obviously, if you can become very obsessive, you can be part of a cult, for example, or codependent financially, or somebody trying to manipulate you financially. So careful with that. Libra rising sun and moon is going to happen in your seventh house. That is your mirror. That is your significant others. That is your legal matter, your anything to do with collaboration with others, with friendship. And it is a phoenix level rebirth in partnership, something to do. You can actually have a long-term relationship and get married and the destination wedding. You find your soulmate, you find your alliances, and those going to be very authentic with same values, same integrity, and mutual respect, and a lot of spiritual bond between you and the partner as well. Maturing together and healing codependency, it's very, very important. The negative one is, like when you are the boundaries were unclear because of Neptune, and you can actually dissolve somehow in this relationship, or make sure you are a survivor and not falling for victimhood over here, and you are not projecting your own shadows to your partner, because then it can end your relationship and could bring in complication in your marriage for sure. All right, Scorpio rising, sun and moon, what's gonna happen for you guys? It's going to happen in your sixth house. Sixth house, anything to do with healing, spiritual practices. It is your work. It is your rental property, your small pets over here, healing practice itself, yoga studio, juicing bar, whatever, gym. So you're going to have a new workout routine, but it has to also not necessarily very quick. As I said, I recommend right now Tai Chi for everyone, but obviously it is me, so you can take and do whatever you want to. But you're going to have more structured rituals with Saturn over here. And but careful, because sixth house is health, and actually it could bring some kind of immune or deficiency, lymphatic issues as well. So you might want to do some kind of lymphatic drainage. And you can also start to work in medicine and healing, or something to do with esoteric field as well, right? Your routine are changing, and you're going to put together activity with spirituality. So you're going to go to the gym and heavy weight train, but after that you're going to go to the salt room and get a massage also there, because Neptune is over there. So you're going to try to, merge together everything, and you're going to become the master of hygiene, mental hygiene also, with meditation, breath work, right? But Saturn over here with Neptune, especially, it could be also because of I don't want to talk about something and I suppress that, and then I can create depression or some kind of hypochondria also could come in. And also careful not to escape addiction. Face it and tackle it. That's very, very important. You can get actually exhausted from work, overwhelmed, and careful if you have small pets. If it's very, very old, it might going to do the transition. Something that pet issue could come in also, but you can also adopt a long-term companion, a pet as well. My fellow Sagittarius rising, Sun and Moon, I am a Sagittarius rising, and it's going to actually happen in our fifth house. Fifth house is your children, it is your intimate life, not romantic life, your creativity. This is, getting an agent, signing up, for example, with an agent or a record label studio. It could bring in some kind of positive outcome with art, music, photography, filmography, storytelling, right? You're going to be surrounded with children. You might even going to open up an after-school program for children if you can afford it, right? Anything to do with romanticism, because Neptune is very romantic and idealistic as well. But it's not going to be delusional. You're going to see your partner, or your new love clearly because Saturn is over there. You're also going to be able to become mentor, but through inspiration of others, but perhaps with writing books, right? So getting to the bigger audience because you're Sagittarius and it's the bigger audience. And you can return to authentic joy with Neptune over here, especially when Saturn going to leave, it could be that. Also, Saturn Neptune over here, the negative, like you're gonna have an empty nest and your child gonna go to university. That's what's gonna happen for me. And you're going to be sad about that, or maybe you are falling in love with a fantasy because somebody approached you through social media and it was not even a real person. So be very careful over here not to give money. I have a lot of people who given money to, through they met on social media. So careful with that, and also careful with impulsive spending and gambling because Neptune wants to buy everything, artwork, expensive artwork, and spent on pleasure, even for gambling. And Saturn is like, hey, don't be impulsive. And just make sure you are even invest because fifth house in investment accordingly. Capricorn rising sun and moon, it's going to happen in your fourth house. First of all, you can find your biological parents, or maybe you're going to find someone, a sister, a sibling who you didn't know about that. You can do an ancestry over here, and you are with the ancestry, you're going to recognize some pattern in the family, maybe even genetic issues, which is going to break some kind of generational, karma. And also you can build some kind of new home, build, because Saturn is structures building, right? Buy a land, build something, and it's going to be very spiritual, or by the water, or you're gonna have the mountain behind and the ocean right in front of you. And it is gonna be something with true belonging, something to do with, as I said, healing family karma and became stable in your home. The negative one over here could be some kind of family secret is coming up and it's hard for you to deal with that. Or also it could be like a parent figure or an elder could pass away, or it could be also get ill and it's affecting you, or they need to move in with you and it's going to be some kind of burden, like, I mean, a lot of work. It could also bring in some kind of real estate complication for you guys, and careful with fire and flood. So make sure you have flood and fire, Capricorn rising, sun and moon. Then Aquarius rising, sun and moon, it's going to happen your third house. That is your marketplace, that is your community, your neighborhood, your sibling, niece, nephew, your relatives over there. Also, it is workshops, your online workshops. You might going to create a website. You're going to have new workshops ready to be sold, and anything to do with evolutionary thinking, because the third house also the way you process information. You might going to get a new car, but careful with the brake and the brake oil. Definitely in your car, always check it. You can actually learn a new language traveling. Your voice is going to become very spiritual, and you're going to have a lot of messages and spiritual messages for others. And you can actually master spirituality during this time. Also, something to do with siblings. You can partner up with a sibling or a neighbor to create some kind of, workshops or teach together, or create a marketplace in the local community. You can be the HOA president, whatever, if you have HOA, some kind of community leader over here, and speak the truth. But negatively, it could be like a neighbor misunderstand you, or a sibling, or, there is some kind of miscommunication between close people and relatives. And also it could bring in some kind of digital overwhelming. So make sure you have EMF protection all over, because it could bring in anxiety and sleep disturbance as well. So, and conflict, maybe your dog is barking all the time and the neighbor going to, like report you. All right, guys. And then last but not least, also my fellow Piscean, I'm a Pisces sun. So this is going to happen actually in your second house. If you have a Pisces rising, second house is financial axis. You are going to be able to monetize some spiritual and creative work, anything to do with photography, filmography, ballroom dancing, ballet, being seen in the public. You can also have a gift, you didn't know about. And right now, somehow it's emerging, and you're going to have some kind of healing art and compassionate, based profession. So anything to do with people, you might going to create a home for veterans or elderly people, so a convalescence center, something like that. But also because the second house is your values and self-worth, it's going to be also, you're not going to be dependent anymore, and you're not going to need validation anymore. You're going to ground yourself. You're gonna become your own superhero, right? So that is very, very important over here. And, anything to do with art or healing, or, it's finances. And actually Neptune could be it's glamour. You can create glamour during this period when Neptune is over here. So it could be really, really amazing for you guys. But at the beginning, you might going to get the negative side, confused financially. Oh my God, where to invest? I had an inheritance. I want to make sure I preserve my money, but I don't know how to invest, So that's kind of, deception, by fogginess. And also, it could be like you're giving away a lot of things for free, and you work, and or you undercharge at the beginning. So make sure you value yourself. And money also could disappear in some kind of suspicious and unclear transactions. So always check the subscriptions and your credit card, not to get it, like hacked during this time. So that's what's happening, guys. For you, this is the 12 signs. As I said, Saturn, Neptune, not necessarily bad. It does have negative, but also it has a lot of positive manifestation.
Thank you so much, Krisztina, for the very concise, to the point presentation for the 12 signs and the world predictions, more than 50. You made like very specific world predictions. I'm very grateful. Again, if anyone wants to connect with Krisztina for personal reading, as you can see, she's incredibly knowledgeable. And I'll get their yearly prediction, 70 to 120 pages for general yearly prediction for each of the 12 signs, or the financial yearly predictions, which is 20% off. Again, I'm putting links below in the description for all of that information. Thank you so much, Krisztina, for
Thank you
the
so much.
incredible knowledge you give us.
And you
Thank
know what, guys? Happy New Year and Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate doesn't matter. But you know, I want you to be happy and healthy. That's my from bottom of my heart. I don't want anyone to suffer, and I hope you're going to have amazing time with your family. You too, Lada. I hope you're going to heal quickly. It's gonna go through, you know. So focus on your healing, and it's gonna be okay.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.
All right, take care. Bye.